Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Ladies and Gents Listen Up. And boy, do we have an episode for you today. We've been talking about the selection process in dating, and now, drum roll please, we are at the science of it all. Mr. Carpenter, how are you today?
I am doing well, drliz. And how are you?
I am doing well. I'm excited about today's conversation.
Me too.
Well, all right. Before we get started, we are going to go on over to Grandma's cookie jar and grab the secrets for today and see what Grandma's cookie jar, what wisdom is in store for us. We have seek magic every day. Hmm, that's
Magic
good. Every day.
every day.
And
Okay, got it.
then on the flip side, we have life is here and now.
Ooh. Oh, that,
Life.
and that goes back to our beginning and end and that perfect, huh? And
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely
present
it
we
does.
had.
Absolutely, it does. And speaking of that, about past episodes, we had a subscriber that wrote in, and she said, "Is there really a perfect love?" What is your take on that?
Yes, 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 yes. There is a such thing as a perfect love. Now, what may be perfect for you may not be perfect for me. That person is perfect for you because they're strong where you're weak and you're weak where they're strong. Y'all are a perfect match for each other. There's a saying that one woman's trash may be another woman's treasure.
Ooh. Well, all right then. I guess we're starting off strong today. So since we are talking about we're talking about the science of it all, we're gonna bounce the ball in your court, sir. You want to kick us off today?
Okay, we have a lot to unpack today, so I'm gonna make the brief kind of quick here. Okay, now we promised you that three things. If you let Dr. Liz and I mentor you and coach you, there's three things that we promised we're gonna do. The first thing is we said that we're gonna teach you, we're gonna share our mating and dating strategies that to help you date, connect, and love into your full potential. The next is that we'll sure answer the question on how do you follow your heart this time to get to that perfect partner. See, perfect partner. Shows that that guest is resonating with us and we're resonating with them. And the last part of this piece is that we're going to show you this time so we can stop the usual dating headaches and heartaches that get into all of your relationships. So we want to stop that. And also, we want to make sure that your process is such that it honors and is effective so you can find out, you can select all your potential partners for love, romance, marriage, or whatever, and that everybody is considered, screened, and selected. Okay? Now,
Well, yeah.
with today. Now, the day is going to be a little different because we gave you scenarios about everything else. Today, we'll give you scenario as we work through it today. So the day is going to be a little different. The day is going to be a little teachy more than conversation. But Dr. Liz, I know you know everything I'm talking about. So I'm going to bring in a little easel board here so we can do this together. And if you work with me, Dr. Liz, I think we can get the message across.
All
Now,
right.
now, can you see that, Dr. Liz? Can you see the board? Can you
Yes, we
see
can.
this part of the board and the
Yes,
whole board is clear? All
it's
right, I'm
clear.
going to draw. Now, today's scenario is about this guy and this girl. And the girl works at a restaurant. Because Liz, have you noticed the price of food now lately?
Yes,
Food
everything is
is sky
gone.
high. Even Walmart, the food is really high. So if you go to places like Publix and Kroger's and all of them, you find out that the food is really high. So to stretch dollars, this guy, and this is going to be the boy. This one's going to be the boy, and this is going to be the girl we're talking about today.
All right.
Got to work on the eyes a little bit, don't I?
Yeah, a little bit because he looks a little mean, like he's a little frowned up there.
Well, he is frown. He's not having the best time. He's mad because his groceries are a little higher than what they normally be. So he's not feeling it. So he's
He's a,
not feeling it. But since he's a military person, he's able to go on the military base and buy. So he gets specials and stuff like this. And this one
awesome.
day, ooh, I get it. Who? So this one particular day, he goes in there. That ain't working well.
That's okay. We understand his face. So keep it moving. We're fine.
All right, I'll keep going. All right, but I'm glad the girl looked better than he do. This is the girl. All right, so now he goes into the military place because military place you can get a lot of specials and a lot cheaper. And as he go through to get his stuff, he noticed this girl, and right now he noticed this girl here, and this notice becomes focused. So he's focused on how pretty this girl is. Now this girl is so pretty. She has a beautiful hair, beautiful shape, looks well. Her fingernails are beautiful, and he noticed her. So his notice, let's frame it because he's noticing her, and his notice become positive. He said, whoa, man, she's beautiful. His focus, so he's got a positive focus. And with that positive focus, he began to think certain things.
Hmm.
Started having beliefs. Uh-oh. He started having beliefs. And his beliefs is that she could be the one for him. So since that belief she had the one, it's a positive belief. His belief is positive, and since it's a positive belief, it becomes faith. He has faith that she could be a potential date for him. Don't worry about me. I'll clean my writing up a little bit so you can read it. Trust me, I'm just getting it out now.
It's okay. It's okay. We're following.
All right. So now she beginning to believe something too. She see this guy, and she thinks he's a very handsome guy. He's built. So she began to believe some things too. So she began to believe that he's positive. So she likes him. So she thinks he has faith too. Okay. Now think about it. If her thoughts were negative, and if her thoughts were negative, Dr. Liz, what would be going through her mind? Would it be some doubt?
Yeah, definitely doubt.
Let's call that doubt.
Okay.
So doubt. And if he was thinking negative to her, it'd be doubt too.
Right.
Then once you start thinking, and they start thinking about each other, if she likes him, it's a smile. If he likes her, it's a smile. If he don't like her and she don't like him, it's a frown. He's frowning, she's frowning. Mm-hmm. But now, what's the next thing when you start thinking about somebody, Dr. Liz? You start having feelings, right?
Those old feelings get involved.
Okay, feelings get involved. So the next thing we have feelings, heart to heart. We start having feelings. Now, if those feelings are positive, that she believed that, hey, this guy might be a suitable candidate, or she might be a suitable candidate, then it's called anticipation. You're anticipating, man, I want to feel what it is to go out. It's called anticipation. So the feelings. So as they begin to talk, this guy go through that commissary a lot to get his groceries and stuff, and then they start talking. And the more they talk, this young lady started telling a lot of her personal business to him, that she's single and all this. So he started thinking, wow. Now, if they were thinking, if his feelings were negative, let's call that anxiety, okay?
Mm.
So let's call that high school anxiety. Anxiety. All right, so it'd be anxiety. Now, we've got the belief, we got focus, we got the belief, we say everything is positive, so we start having feelings. Now, when you start having feelings, the feelings go from your belief to your heart. The feelings to the belief in the heart. They go there. Now, after you start having feelings, and then you get that feeling, and also all of a sudden, so this particular day, this guy asked, matter of fact, the lady asked the guy, when the guy came through one time, the lady said, hey, look, you're my last customer. If you don't mind, have you eaten? Let's go out to eat. So the guy said, let's tell him. So the guy think it's positive. His feelings are positive. So let's see what function the guy said. Let's say function. The next line is function. So now Now they had focus, beliefs, anticipation, feelings. Now it's function. Now, when she asks him to go out to have eat with her, if it's positive, he's gonna be powerful. Yes, we're gonna go. He's powerful. We're gonna go. So he becomes powerful if it's positive. Dr. Liz, if you didn't like somebody, they asked you to do something, what would the answer be if you didn't like them, Dr. Liz? What would the answer be?
You pass on it, or thank you, but no thank you.
Right. It's powerless. That means you powerless. If it's negative, it becomes powerless.
But question, wouldn't he have had power if he'd asked her out?
Yeah, either one could have had power.
Okay.
If he'd asked her, because since he's thinking positive, he could have asked her too. He has power because now he can ask her out because he's powerful now. Now his hand and feet are powered by his positive decision that he has faith that she can satisfy him, whether it's the dating or whatever. So his feelings are anticipation. So his function, he has power to ask her. He has the power. A lot of times when you don't ask people out, it's because somewhere in your mind there's a doubt. So you won't ask them out because it's a doubt, because now you're powerless.
That's
you
good.
Can't ask them out because you think it's a doubt. So you're not gonna put yourself in a bad situation to lose. You're not gonna put yourself in a position for a heartache or heartbreak. Normal people don't do that.
So that doubt then could also be insecurities or whatever, but it's what is going on in his head, right? Okay.
It could be when he look at his focus on her is because this girl in this picture, she's beautiful. She got sandy blonde hair with dark roots. She has the best dress. She's got a great banging body. She looks well. She's manageable. And his mind is that she's way upper class. That whoa, this girl is the thing. So his focus is on her. That man, she the one. So because he has faith, that she can do anything. She can satisfy all his needs of dating and all that stuff. So he's powerful. That's where the power comes in because of that. Now, let's move this. Let's move this out of the way and let's make it clear, because I just wrote just to show you can see how I wrote it. This is the actual chart. And that's why I wrote so fast so you can see it. So here's the science of it all. The science of it all is here. That when you think about a person, when you see and you see a man or a woman see each other, the first thing when you look at them, your first thing is you focus boy meets girl. You focus on them. And whether it's in old-fashioned dating, whether you guys in the same classroom and you're sitting there and you start surveying the room and you start singling people out, you start noticing them. And if everything about them is positive, you like them, you have faith that they're the ones for you. And because you have faith the ones there for you, your feelings become positive. So you have anticipation on how can me and this person get together? How can me and this person get together? So the function of your feet and hands are powerful. You want to see if you can get together. Now, if the same thing is negative, you get doubt. If your belief of this person is doubt, then your feelings is going to be negative, and you're going to get anxiety. You don't want to be nowhere near them. So you're powerless when it comes to trying to relationship with them.
That's interesting.
This is the science of it all. And if you look at it, Dr. Liz, it's either way. It can be any scenario. Both could have faith. Both of them could be positive. One could be negative. One could be positive. It's all these scenarios are played out right here in the science of it all. No matter how you meet, whether it's online dating, whether it's having fun, or whether it's the science of it all. This young lady is a cashier at a commissary, and she's beautiful as I don't know what. This guy's going in over a few months, and they begin to talk regularly. And then this young lady started telling her she's getting powerful in her conversation. So she started telling him more of her personal stuff. And then he believed, whoa, this is the one. So now he's beginning to understand, maybe she's telling me this because she wants me to make a move, to ask her out. But this guy's a little afraid, so he don't ask her. So she asked him out. She said, well, hey, have you eaten yet? You're my last customer. Hey, can you eat? Let's go eat. And he go out and eat. And then they go out and eat. And then they start having this romance, and then they start getting together, and then they fall in love and marry. As a matter of fact, this Valentine will be their first 1-year anniversary.
Okay.
See, that's how this works. And
Okay.
it all happens here. This is elementary. No matter when you see somebody, Dr. Liz, and you think they're all this and all that, that's because your belief. This is because your belief feels that there's faith in that. If you see them and you don't like them or something negative is a doubt, here it is right here. So your feelings are anxiety. They can't get nothing from you because you're powerless.
You're powerless in that scenario. You're powerless when your belief, and if you have negative belief or doubt, and so you have doubt, not negative belief, but doubt. Yeah,
when you got that doubt, it becomes a negative feeling. That feeling becomes anxiety, so you become powerless.
Wow, that's good. I hope everybody is taking copious notes on that, because this scenario definitely, while we're talking about the selection process and dating, but that can happen with anything. If you're feeling doubt, turns into anxiety, and it makes you it renders you powerless. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you got it, Dr. Liz. That's it. It's the same scenario. It's the same exact science. Because we are what we think, how as a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. Your belief, and both faith and doubt are both beliefs.
Wow.
They're both beliefs. And that's what this is. And here's some of the things I'm gonna tell you some of the things that put doubt in your mind. Some things that put doubt in your mind are, I'm find a little cheat sheet here. So it'll be easy for me so I won't get it wrong. Where's my little cheat sheet? I had a sheet I was cheating with. Okay, now the things are, if a person is a bully, if a person is always angry, if they're violent, if they're disrespectful, if they're needy, if they're intolerant, if they're always blaming you, if they're a victim and they're never regulated or never under control, inconsiderate, they're domineering, they're critical, they're unkind, dishonest. Those are some of the things that have put doubt in your head. And here's some more things that will put doubt in your head. Other things are, if they're critical about things that you cannot change. Let's say, for instance, they're critical about things you can't, like your weight. If somebody says you get a little large, and somebody say, hey, look, I don't like you because you're fat, or this right here, or I don't like you because you're skinny, or I don't like you because you're too dark, I don't like you because you're too light. These are things that becomes doubt. Let's say this person started getting physical, violent, or verbal against your friends, your family, or people you know, or anytime strangers. This person flies into a rage when they're frustrated, when they got something they can't control, or something that they can't handle. Person stands you up on appointments and don't have a reason why. They don't excuse themselves. Why? They can't tolerate your honesty, your opinion. You give them an honest opinion, you almost feel like you got to walk on eggshells when you're around them. These are things that give doubt. They blame everybody but themselves. They're extremely needy. You can never be out of their sight when they wonder what's going on. They take abuse of you physically, whether you consent or not. These are the things. They minimize, they're rude and inconsiderate. And then when you call them on it, they say, I was just joking, just kidding. They steal your money and your things. They show no remorse when they wrong someone. They fail to respect your decisions. When you say no, it's a big issue, a big fight because you said no. They schedule appointments and events for you when you don't even know anything about it, whether they have your consent or not. They abuse alcohol or pills or drugs. These are the things that make you want to be negative in a relationship. And when you're negative in a relationship, it's anxiety. It actually make you have anxiety and you're powerless. This is the science of it. Here's the 5 stages of romance, relationship. The 5 says first stage of relationship is romance, and that's the love and the bonding, and the personal traits. Because normally when you first talk to somebody, it's normally a physical draw when you first start talking to people. The next stage is the power struggle stage. And this is the stage when you have start pain and emotion. This is when you start changing your independency. You start giving a lot more to the person. And this is where you either are going to stay together, or you're going to leave, or you're going to pivot, or you're going to make some kind of changes. This is that stage, struggle stage. The next stage.
In that stage, before you go forward, though, in that stage is where if you give up, if it's not it's not a compromise, if you give up so much, you can continue to keep giving up so much of yourself. And as you give up so much of yourself, we look around and you don't even know who you're looking at anymore, because you've given up so much of yourself in this dysfunctional relationship.
Yep, and that's why that stage is called a power stage, because that stage is a very taxing stage. And if you make it through it, to the next stage, is stability stage, then you share a deeper love, and that's when you start coming together as a union in that next stage, stability stage. And then the next one is commitment stage. That's when you start having a balanced relationship, and that's when you start maybe considering marriage or engagement, stuff like that, in that stage. And that's the fourth stage, commitment stage. The fifth stage is a blitz stage, when now you continue the romance and love has continued. You may decide to move in together, or you may decide to marry. And this is when you normally have desire to have children. And that's when you start having generosity, you start wanting to give back to the world, because you feel you're satisfied.
Right. Well, you know what's something in today's society, all of those steps 1 through 4, I believe it is. Oftentimes we skip those 1, 2, and 3 steps and go straight to that 4th step. And now you're in. Is the 4th step? What is that 4th step again?
The 4th step is commitment stage.
Right. Well, what's the right above commitment? Because there was one I wanted to jump in on.
Shared deeper love, and that's the stability stage.
Right. So oftentimes you don't get to all of those different stages before you just, sometimes people meet, they move in together in a couple of weeks, or they meet and they, marry or what have you, in just a couple of weeks or a short amount of time. You don't give yourself the opportunity to go through all of those stages. So now you popped everything into one, you're under one roof, and now you're trying to figure out all of these, the power, and you're trying to figure everything out. And that makes for a rocky terrain or rocky, relationship.
Yes. And that's why you got to go through these stages. Because those stages are there for a reason. And that's how you get that deeper love. And that's how you get that union long term. That's when, like my parents, your parents, in the old days, they used to stay together so long because they normally went through that stage, whether they wanted to or not. They had to go through these stages. Now people can microwave it.
Nope. Right. Courtship. That's the courtship part. You get all that information. You're investigating and collecting all that information, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right.
Intimacy happens over time, Dr. Liz. And it first start with hanging out. You just hang out, and then you become a thing, and then you do exclusive dating, and then you promise yourself together. You promise together, and then you go to engagement, and then you maybe cohabitate, and then that's how marriage is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stages before you get there, and that's how intimacy happens.
Right.
And that's the difference.
So what happens when it's upside down, when intimacy starts the first date?
It's called something called chaos, Dr. Lee. It's called chaos. And this would happen. Your belief system is going to end up having doubt. Your feelings going to have anxiety, and you're going to be powerless to control it.
Ooh, thank you. I'm glad you took that. I'm glad you took that road. You showed us the road, or the road to there. Okay, awesome.
And everything we talk about love, whether we sit here 2 hours and talk about it, here it is right here in a nutshell, the science of it all. And here's the rules of date and mating selection. One is you got to marry outside of your nucleus family. You got to marry outside your nucleus family. You can't marry your mother, brother, sister, first auntie, second auntie. You can't do that. You need to marry outside of your nucleus family. Then you got to find somebody that's comfortable, a comfortable person, somebody that meets your needs while you meet their needs also. It's got to be that compatibility where you meet each other's needs. And then the third one is you got to find someone that's a good fit, that you helping them and they help you. And it's a good fit. And sometimes that good fit may be that you guys are totally opposite people, that you opposite attracts. Sometimes it's not always you guys have the same ideas. Sometimes opposite attracts. So you have to find that good fit. Next, you got to find somebody to date somebody with similar backgrounds. And similar background and traits could be religion, It could be economical standards. It could be ethnic background. It could be from the same area of the world. It's so much. There's so many traits that's there. And it could be the same. It could be the same skin color. It could be so many things that you got to find somebody similar background. And the fifth one about the dating and mating selection is you got to look for the warning signs of deeper problems. You can't just you can't just push it on the rug and just overlook the red flags. When the red flags come, you got to work with them. You got to work with them. Dr. Liz, what's your question about that, Dr. Liz? I see you looking at it like.
Yeah, because I was going to say, when you go back to number 4 and you talk about finding similarities together, but you can find similarities if you have enough similarities together. I mean, some things are going to be different because you're going to make it interesting. But when you talk about skin color, right? So there's a lot of interracial marriages that work because they find similarities in other areas, but just may not, they may not just be from that. So everything doesn't have to match, is what we're saying, that just enough in the pool or pot together needs to match so that you can have a good healthy relationship.
Correct. And both of them, Dr. Liz, got to have a positive belief in their hearts and head that both of them have faith that they're the one. So both have that positive belief, because both of them have faith. That means they have anticipation as their feelings, and then they're powerful to change and redirect and pivot on that love as much as they need to in order to be together.
Wow, that's good.
Goes back to our science of it all. Goes right back to that.
That's awesome. That's good.
Goes right back to that. And that's why that's so important that because them scenarios that we painted, and we try to get you to see this, and we try to put you in the scenario as much as we could, without them being too far-fetched, so you can actually see yourself. Because I knew where we were going with this right here is that you need to realize something, that it's a science in it. You just didn't look at her and, woo, Jesus, it ain't that. There's a reason why. Jesus, there's a reason
There's a reason for it. There's a science for it. The science of it all.
Yes, because according to this, when you first attract somebody, first it's physical. First you notice they're physical. Then it's a society. How you and them acting out in the public. Then it's emotional. It start tugging on your heartstrings. Start emotional. Then it's intellectual. Intellectual. You start thinking about it. Faith or doubt. And then the highest level, all of it is spiritual. When it becomes spiritual, that's when what God has put together, no one can put asunder. And that's how that works.
What is it? 3 cords that bind.
Yes, Dr. Liz, what are your questions? Anything we discussed or went over? What question do you think the audience would have of you and I right now with this?
Well, actually, I think we went over it as we were going through it. We stopped and we made it really clear. So I think there's clarity when we go back to there's a science behind it, and why sometimes so many relationships are lopsided or what have you, because you may have one that's thinking positive on one page and the other one maybe thinking negative, but they just see what they want to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not creating that win-win, that positive, and then creating all the flow. So I think you did a very good job at helping us to understand the science behind it. So I think you did a great job. Thank you. Was there anything else that you wanted to add?
By the way, their anniversary this what, Tuesday, the 4th of July? I mean the 14th. Valentine's Day is gonna be their first year anniversary.
Oh wow. Wow, good deal. Well, happy anniversary, you two. You all did your work, right?
Yes. And then can I move this out of the way now, Dr. Liz?
Yes, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. Thank you. I think we got it. Yes, I think that was just amazing for us to understand that. And when we have a better understanding, we can move forward and have better outcomes. So I think that was very, very good. And you said that you had a last piece to wrap us up here today?
Yeah, the last piece. Remember, we had the 3 things. Remember, you call it interrogation. You call it, what do you call it, Dr. Liz?
Well, I switched it from interrogation to investigation.
And then can I get you to switch it one more time to clarity?
You want to say
the proper name is clarity.
Right.
That's when you ask a question.
Right, you say clarity, but the reason that I keep the investigation hat on is because when you're asking questions, you still have to examine what somebody is telling you because they can tell you anything. I mean, but if you don't have that, I took it from interrogation because interrogation is like, with the light lamp shining on your head. Nobody wants to be interrogated. But I said investigation because yes, I can put the two together because it will bring clarity. But you still have to examine the answers that you're getting because oftentimes people don't show you who they really are.
Yeah,
they
but
don't tell you who they really are. They show you.
In the science of it all, Dr. Liz, they call that whole process clarity. The whole process name is clarity. Even with the light shining on them, it's called clarity. And then the next one is self-reflection. Self-reflection, when you look inward to yourself and you make sure you honor your own boundaries, your own non-negotiables, and your own values. And the last piece of that is the inspired action. Inspired action is when you go beyond those things that held you back. You actually make the move. You believe in your heart that you're good enough. You're woman enough. You're man enough. You need to be loved. You're lovable. And that's those three parts. And that was the clarity, the self-reflection, and the inspired action. That I'm all in.
Awesome. That was absolutely fantastic. I hope you all got something out of there that you can take back and just add to your toolbox, right? So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. Listen, learn, and leverage the information. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Stay fearless.
Good day, everybody.